Don't make a mess.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Fireflies Forever. Um, we got some interesting stuff last night. We're going to talk about that. But first, we gotta check in. Chris, how are you doing this evening, man?
Doing good. I'm feeling a lot better than last week. My voice still sounds a little messed up, but I'm feeling fine. It just hasn't caught up yet.
Gotcha. I understand that. I'm glad you're feeling better. And dude, I'm excited to talk about what we got last night. It's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be
excited to be back.
yeah, excited to be back. We're getting more stuff now, which is good. So we're gonna get into the show and yeah, do what Deanna said. Um, Drop a like on the video. Um, we would greatly appreciate it. It helps us out a lot with the algorithm and everything. And if you're new to the channel, first off, welcome. We're glad you're here. Consider hitting that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell so you know when we have future content. And we will be back on Thursday on this channel for a TNA watch along, which should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff happening right now, right after Bound for Glory. So some really good stuff going on. So come join us on Thursday night. We would greatly appreciate that. All right. So as we do, excuse me, every week we start out with memories and I know Chris sent over some photos, so I will have Chris take it away and just kind of talk us through the photos.
Yeah. So went to visit Jodie's grave recently, and they finally got her headstone installed. So I took some pictures. I wanted to share with you guys what it looks like and show you something else that I did at her grave. It's also very beautiful there. The trees right now are just gorgeous with the leaf colors and stuff around it. But I hung a couple lanterns there, and they're solar. The lantern comes on at night, and the other one's got a solar candle in it. As you can see there, I went back a couple days later after they had some time to charge in the sun, and wanted to take some pictures of it to show you guys what it looked like.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Love those lanterns, man.
Yeah. The one on the right there with the solar candle in it was one from her funeral. Sea Wrestling sent that. It had flowers in it at the funeral, and I saved the lantern part and bought a solar candle to put in it.
That's awesome. Yeah, shout out to Sea Wrestling. Yeah, no, that's great.
And that other one is one I had from Halloween last year that I used when I dressed up as Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, man, that's sorry. The dogs are.
No problem.
But yeah, no, that's yeah, that's like Deanna said. That's awesome. She lights the way
Yep, every night.
every night. That's right. That's right, man. Well, thank you for sharing these with us, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Just again, allows us to be a part of your family, and obviously you're a part of ours, and just we're here for you still, and will always be. So please know that. Please know that. So, we're gonna go to one of her other favorite things, and that's some art. And Chris, we actually got some art this week.
Yeah, I found a new person that I only picked just a few that I saw of his. He
Mhm.
posted probably 20 more. I may
Wow.
have to go back to in the coming weeks. But yeah, I picked a few of his that I like out that he's been posting.
Yeah. And I want to give a shout out to Jesse Callen, who tagged me in a few posts with some different art. But I got to shout out Nicole because she emailed us. She sent this in to us um, today, and I'll show this in a second. But I'm gonna still throw this out there. If you see artwork, folks, send it our way. We would greatly appreciate it. You can DM Chris. You can DM me on Instagram, or email it to us, like Nicole did today. We would greatly appreciate it. We want to show off the art, so um, please send it in. Even if it's not yours and you see someone's art, send it to us. We'll give a shout out to that artist. So this is the first one here from
Oh
Nicole.
wow,
Yeah, she sent this to us this morning.
that's
This
so
is amazing.
cool. I love the Brody mask behind
Yeah,
him.
yeah, that's really good.
Wow.
Yeah. And then this is one that Jesse tagged me in. I thought this was really
Oh wow.
amazing too.
Yeah, that is really cool. Huh.
Yeah, I agree, Deanna. Nicole does amazing work. But yeah, I've gotta go back and find the person that did this. Let me see if I can find them right now. But Chris, what do you think about this one, man?
It's so cool. It's like going back in time to things we've seen, especially even all the way back to the Pitch Black match.
Yeah. So this was shared by the Abomination on Facebook, drawings by Gall on
Hmm,
Instagram. So
very
um,
cool.
yeah, so this is really cool stuff. And I love seeing new artists that we've never seen before too.
Yeah.
This is pretty dope as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is it's awesome.
That would have made a cool poster to hang up for
Yeah,
Halloween.
yeah, seriously. Going back and trying to find this one. This one also shared by the Abomination, Glitch Artworks on Instagram. So
Very cool.
yeah, good stuff. All right, here's this one.
Oh, that's a really cool. That's like almost like a some kind of like a comic book art style.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Or graphic novel.
Yeah, yeah, this one's really good. And this one is also shared by the Abomination on Facebook. Shadow Assassins IG.
Mhm.
I Shadow Assassins. I screwed that up, but
But like we've talked about before, every time I see stuff like this, it just makes me wish that we could get some kind of a comic book or
yeah,
something like that, or even like a cartoon series on Netflix or something.
yeah. No, yeah, I completely agree. All right, here we go. This is really well done too.
Yeah, yeah. This is the new guy I just found, Derek Frady.
Mm,
He's got a ton of stuff that he just put out.
wow.
Yeah, that one's really cool too. the art styles that some of these guys are able to come out with is just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really good.
Hmm. I love all the background stuff, the
Mhm.
fireflies and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I really love this one.
Yeah, that was really, really good.
All the different versions of Bray that we've seen over the years or things that he did.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so keep the artwork coming, folks. We want it every week. Um, we want to have even more than what we had this week, so keep sending it our way. Special shout out to Jesse again and Nicole. And shout out to you, Chris, for finding a new artist that we can now all go follow and check
Yeah.
out their work.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. I'm gonna reply to him and tell him that I'm featuring some of his art on our show.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Amazing. Well, let's go to the art that's been on television and social media, um, because that's been a part of this. Let me just ask that. So, do you like the way that they've used social media in this feud and kind of kept the story going? What are your thoughts on how they've done this when we don't get things on TV per se?
I do. I think they've done a really good job with it. It's cool that they have their own Twitter account. I mean, Bray always had his too, but I feel like they've used it better and more towards the story. Bray would kind of just be his own thing for the most part. Sometimes he would tweet cryptic stuff, but it never really tied into the direct stories that we're seeing like we are with the Wyatt Sicks right now. So I like what they're doing with that. And then like I love the response videos that Karrion Cross has been doing each week. Those have been awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love the fact that they're doing something. They're not just holding it until the next time we see them on screen. It's
Yeah.
making usage of the different forms of media that are out there that
Mhm.
fans consume. So I love it.
Did you see the one from Cross last week where
Yeah,
Scarlett was saying he's missing and he's like he's dead, he's gone. That was
exactly,
hilarious.
exactly. Clown bringing up a great point. And hello, Melissa. Hello, everyone in chat. Thank you all so much for joining us. Um, Clown saying it's a creative way of getting extra content out since
Hmm.
Raw has lost an hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, that's completely agree. Completely agree. Jeremy, who's a member of our channel, saying I just celebrated 40 years as a fan of wrestling. WWE, WCW, and ECW. Well, that's a
Nice.
huge milestone, Jeremy. And yeah, I
Probably pretty close to that. I don't remember exactly when I started watching wrestling. I know I was fairly young. I'm 43 now, so
yeah.
I'm probably a couple years away from 40 years.
Yeah, yeah, I'm close to it. So, yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, so the Wyatt Six, they are um going after the final testament, which we'll talk about something that was very interesting. Um, and a part of that is going after the Miz, which I gotta say, I think the Miz is screwed.
Yeah.
At this point, I wanted to put that on the thumbnail, but I didn't want to get some kind of flack from YouTube, so I
Yeah.
just said he's in trouble. But he's. What do you think about? I guess let's just go right into it. What do you think about Bo telling him that they didn't care and they're not worried about the final testament? They're after him. What do you make of that?
I'm guessing that's not totally honest. And, maybe it's even one of those things that was Bo saying that. Well, maybe Howdy's not saying that. Just because
Right.
Bo said it doesn't mean Howdy is not saying that. So I think that we're definitely going to still see them tussle with the Final Testament at some point. Maybe not right now, but I definitely think it's coming.
Yeah, I do too. I think Miz is just the first because the story is there. There's a little
Hmm.
more foundation to them going after the Miz. But I gotta admit, he's screwed.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that they brought this. They showed this last night. This clip. Um, but what did you think? What did you make of the kind of the feel of the video and kind of the kidnapping, kind of holding them hostage kind of vibe?
I absolutely loved it. This is one of the coolest things that they've done in a while. I feel like, as far, especially for just getting a video, this was way better than some of the other videos that we've gotten in recent weeks from them. It, really cool to see it. The vibe of it was awesome. It reminded me a lot of that scene in Dark Knight when Joker kidnaps somebody and
Mhm.
films it and shows it to people. It reminded me so much of that. It was so cool.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. Deanna saying, "Jeff, that video was so Bray, that laugh, was everything." Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
I agree, I agree.
Yes, it was.
And, I gotta say this too. Did that last little jump scare get anybody?
Oh yeah, I was not expecting that. It almost
Dexter
looked
coming up
like
behind him?
Dexter was coming up to do the head twist like the Fiend did to Finn
Mhm,
Balor.
mhm. Yeah, it was like it just came out of nowhere, which I loved. I mean, it was
Mhm,
that added element of, like, he's in danger because he's tied up, he's got tape over his mouth, and you got Bo there, and the Miz is in trouble, but then you get that at the very end, and it's
mhm.
like, how can this get worse for the Miz? Well, I mean, it just did. So,
Yeah, and I
um,
love that they've, brought up the past when with Bo, like when he was in the Miztourage, and recently they tweeted a picture of Dexter and Miz from years ago too. So obviously that's tying into this too.
yeah, yeah. I mean, James saying mini horror film. I
Hmm.
agree. I agree. Um, Melissa asking, did we ever find out what Dexter did to Miz when he was kidnapped the first time? Did we find out?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
It just showed him getting taken, and then we got this. I'm
Yeah.
guessing he just delivered him to Bo. But then, obviously, at the end of there, we don't know what Dexter is about to do to Miz. It's not going to be good for Miz, though.
No, no, uh, Miz is in trouble. Um, Speaking of that, what do you think they're gonna do at this point to the Miz? Like, what do you think the next little bit looks like for the Miz?
I don't know. It's really interesting to see because with the dynamic of just going after one singular person like this, I'm surely we're going to end up seeing something in the ring. I'm guessing either I wouldn't be surprised if at first we see maybe Dexter versus Miz in a match, since
Mhm.
Dexter being so heavily involved in it, and
Yeah,
then maybe even after that a Bo versus Miz match.
yeah. No, I agree with that. I think so. Um, James saying,
Yes, he is. He stepped
"Yep,
in it
he
this
is. Yep, he stepped in it. He
time.
fully this time."
Hmm.
Folks in the chat, let us know, what do you think they're gonna do while they have the Miz in their custody, we'll say. Um,
Oh, I like what Deanna said.
oh, okay.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, yeah. Deanna also saying, Cross's artwork was biblical and what I think was Bo or Bray.
Yeah, did you see that? He showed a picture that looked a lot like Bray.
Yeah, yeah, I
So that
did.
that, that was another thing. They're like, I think they're still going to be involved in this. Maybe not right this second, but yeah. we still don't, I feel like, don't really know exactly what Cross is doing or trying to do.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
done a good job at hiding it. He even, has said, like, I haven't done nothing to them. I'm not doing nothing wrong. Like, he's making himself out to just be a normal guy, but I think there's definitely stuff going on behind the scenes that we haven't seen yet.
I agree. I think that ultimately, I think the Wyatt Sicks will prevail. But I think they need to take Cross serious.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't quite know what his game is, and that can be dangerous.
Yeah, C Wrestling today put out a video. I like the theory he proposed, is that maybe Cross has been studying Bray to try to figure out an angle on the Wyatt Sicks, learn from things that Bray did.
I like that. I really like that. Like really, really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Studying the
And Bray had always talked about how he wanted to have a match with him at some point. So that's a really cool angle if that's the case.
Yeah, that really is. And it shows such a deeper level of
Mm-hmm.
this game, this mental game that Cross is playing, but also the Wyatt Six. So
Yeah.
yeah. Deanna saying the biggest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing you he didn't exist. Cross
Yep.
playing mind games. Yes. As from one of my favorite movies of all time, The Usual Suspects.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love that movie. It's really good. And James just sent me something about MLW. James, share that in the chat, man. That's pretty awesome. If you're into MLW and kind of watching different promotions, give them a try. But James can maybe share with the chat. Hey, Alicia, how are you? Jeremy saying, could Cross be Uncle Harper?
I just saw that. I like that idea.
I,
That's really interesting. Huh.
I do too. Like, Jeremy, how would you book that out? How would you play that out? I need more details there.
Yeah.
But I do like that a lot. So Chris, you brought up an excellent point, I feel, earlier when you talked about how this thing could start out. Um, I just feel like there's a lot of room for story
Mm-hmm.
with these two factions. So I mean, how long do you think this lasts? Where do you think we start? And where do you think we go from there?
It's hard to say because I think we could even carry this thing out with Miz for a while. I mean, we could see another video next week of him still being kidnapped. I think that would be pretty cool. And talking, saying something else to him or doing something different with him or whatever. I feel like that could definitely carry on for a bit before we even have a match. And then, as far as moving on to the Final Testament, I mean, I feel like that is something that could easily go months if they have a good enough story, especially with as good as Cross is and the mastermind that it seems like he is. Yeah, I mean, I dare say it could easily go to Royal Rumble with that kind of a story. I think you're muted, Jeff.
Yep, I hit the mute button some way. Um, I know the last time we were on, some people thought I was a little crazy with saying this, but you could legitimately, if done properly, end this at WrestleMania.
I don't think it's as crazy, as you first said now, just because
Right.
with a lot of it changed with Raw being 2 hours. We're just getting little bite-sized pieces now. So
Mhm.
you could really take this on because the story's going to advance a lot slower only getting little bite-sized pieces each week. So that's
Yeah.
not unfeasible at all now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think with how
Maybe that could be the Mania match, Cross versus Howdy.
exactly, I think you end there
That would be
with
really
those
cool.
two at WrestleMania, and
And then if it turns out that he's Uncle Harper, that would just make it even more interesting. Uncle Harper versus Uncle Howdy at WrestleMania.
yeah, yeah, no, that's
There's a lot of different directions they could go.
yeah, yeah. They could play this out a long, long way, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'd get tired of it because I think there's so many different directions they could go in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about if Cross and Howdy is your end game. Think about everything that we could get from now until then.
Oh yeah,
So,
I mean, I think it'd be cool if we had even a couple matches of like Dexter and Gacy versus AOP,
mhm,
and I think AOP should get a win against them one time, and then
yeah,
maybe they have a rematch, and then Gacy and Dexter win one. Like you could easily do that.
I think that's the way you can stretch it out is
Mhm.
you make it a little more balanced and you make it where the Wyatt Six aren't just running through the Final Testament. It's actually competitive
Yeah.
because I think at the end of it, you want Cross and the rest of Final Testament to look strong.
Hmm.
You want this to benefit them. So,
Oh, yeah, I feel like this is a great faction for them to have their first loss to.
mhm. So you would book them to lose Wyatt
Yeah,
Six?
I would have them lose at least one of them. We'll probably get multiple matches out of
Mhm.
this. I could easily see, like I said, like a tag team match or something out of it. I don't think I would have, Howdy lose a one-on-one match or anything, but you could easily have a tag team match, loss or something like, or a six-man tag match loss or something like that. Wouldn't hurt them at all. I don't feel like.
Yeah.
Maybe even Scarlett getting over on Nikki. You know,
Mhm.
might
Yeah.
be cool as long as Nikki gets her revenge.
Exactly.
He's-
Exactly. Clown saying, "I hope they don't drag the Miz stuff out. Otherwise, I'm afraid it's going to venture into the territory of Nakamura's first feud with Dolph. The luster of the Wyatts can be lost on the Miz." I think that's a fair point, Clown.
Yeah,
I
I can't see them. I mean, I couldn't imagine they could drag it out too long with it only being one person. There's, like I said, I see maybe two match potentials at most with the Miz. So I can't imagine that they would drag it out too much. Like I said, I think it could be cool if we got another promo or two of Miz kidnapped. But
Mhm. Well, I think that leads, perfectly into the next question here. When do you think the Final Testament will get involved, given the fact that The Miz said he wasn't a part of the group, which I also found interesting.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Cross thinks about that because obviously we've seen them together, and Cross has been giving him orders and things like that. Even if he's not been an official part of the group, they've definitely been on the same side of things. So I definitely think we're going to see a response from Cross
Mhm.
towards the Miz, and I don't think it's going to be good. I mean, he's already been threatening to break Miz's legs and throw him off a roof. So
Yeah, I mean, the Miz, man, he's in it at this point. I mean, he's
yeah,
just in it. I think I think you could see this may sound a little weird, I don't know. But maybe Cross gets involved because he wants revenge on the Miz, and that's how the two groups start fighting.
yeah, could
And that
be.
they're fighting over being able to get back at the Miz.
Yeah, could be, or maybe Cross maybe he somehow takes offense that what Bo said, that they're not even interested in the Final Testament. Like,
Mm,
I could see that coming at an angle. Like, what do you mean you're not interested in us? You think we're just nobody? Like, we'll show
right,
you.
exactly. We'll prove to you that we're worthy of your stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I really think this could be awesome, and they could do it in a way where you don't just get everything at once, and I think that's fine. I think the Wyatt Six need a feud like this.
Mm-hmm.
The feud with American Made and whatever, I mean, that was good, don't get me wrong. That was a great
It
way.
was good to get their feet wet.
Exactly.
The way I
It was
look
a
at
great way to introduce both groups,
it.
which, you had Chad kinda creating his own new thing
Mm-hmm.
at that point, and we were learning about the Wyatt Six, so I think that was good for them, but I think this adds depth to the story.
Mm-hmm.
It uses some of the old story that we saw from Bray, especially with all the stuff that he did with The Miz,
Mm-hmm.
but then it also creates a new foe, maybe at some point an ally in Karrion Cross.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is gonna be good for both groups.
Yeah. I like the unpredictability of it. And we also, there was another interview that Bo did recently with somebody. I can't remember what outlet it was, but he said that we haven't seen anything yet. There's so much coming; it's going to get crazy, and we haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Deanna saying, "Can you imagine our truth with Dexter or Gacy?" That
I
would
still need to see. I need to see our truth thinking he's a member of the Wyatt Six and put on some kind of come up with his own mask or something, and put on a mask and pretend like he's in the Wyatt Six. That would be great.
be absolutely amazing. I would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. Oh man. So Chris and chat, and I want to read some of these out from the chat, but I'm gonna ask all of you, what's next? What do you think we get next? What do you think really sets this thing off? Um, James just sent apparently YouTube would not allow some of the words to come through. But James says Wyatt Six needs to kill Karrion Cross, quote unquote, so we can get the rebirth of Killer Cross.
Yeah, I saw someone asked him that on Twitter, even and if when they go to Netflix, if he could change his name, and he said he would 100% be down with that if to do that for the fans. That's a really cool angle.
Yeah, that is. That is. I like that. I like that. I mean, do you think we get the same type of rise with the Final Testament as we did with LA Knight? Because I mean, you think about where LA Knight was,
Hmm.
then he had the feud with Bray, and now you look at where he is today. Do you think that we in 6 months from now or a year from now are saying, yep, this is when things turned around for them?
I sure hope so. I mean, I've been saying for a while that I really want to see the Final Testament become something more. I've always loved Karrion Cross. I think he's fantastic. I think he deserves it. So yeah, I'm really hoping. I mean, we had talked about it before. About I thought we thought this would be a good idea because of that, to
Hmm.
get that LA Knight rub from the Wyatt Six. So yeah, I'm really hoping that's what happens. I hope so. I think it will if they go that route full on with it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it will. I think it'll be a huge benefit to Cross. But like I said earlier, I think it'll be good for the Wyatts too. But
Mm.
for Cross, I think a year from now, yeah, I'm not saying world title or anything like that, but I think he will have a higher place. Him and the group will have a higher place on the card because of this feud.
Yeah. And there's still an interesting scenario at play too. I mean, we're still seeing division between the New Day, and that video even interrupted New Day,
Mm-hmm.
showing the Miz kidnapped, and Karrion Cross is still involved with them too. So yeah, it's like a whole trio thing. There's so much at play, and we just don't know what exactly is going to happen. It's exciting.
Yeah.
There's so many different directions and angles that are probably going to come together through this.
Yeah, I think all of that stuff matters and is all connected. With the New Day, with Final Testament, with the Miz, I think everything is connected.
And that could be really cool too, because they could do it just like what they're doing with the Miz right now. There's a lot of history between the Wyatt family and the New Day to draw back on.
Mm-hmm.
They had an awesome cinematic match years ago.
Exactly. Exactly.
And we just found out that there's going to be a New Day themed Raw coming up, celebrating the 10th anniversary of the New Day. So
yeah,
could get something there.
yeah, that would be a prime spot to do it. Deanna saying, "Have you noticed Cross has a little cult leader thing going on?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what Chris was saying a little earlier about studying Bray to find out how to get to the Wyatt Sicks. I think that's it's a good theory.
Yeah, shout out to C for that one.
Yeah. Static Marie saying, yeah, that's definitely interesting in itself. Courtney Lee says, hey guys, hello Courtney. Clown says Cross and Bo are Freddy versus Jason, both fighting to get the Miz's soul. So when Bo gets denied, that Howdy will look for revenge on Cross. That's interesting, Clown. I like that thought. I like that train of thought there. Deanna saying, do we get Big E on that show?
I don't see how we couldn't. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't think he'll wrestle, but how could he not be on it?
I think he's got to be there in
Mm-hmm.
some way, shape, or form. Um, James saying New Day ain't the same without Big E. There's still now definitely needs a change. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think we're going to see that breakup come to fruition.
yeah. Unfortunately, because I do love them as a group, I think it's kind of run its course. Unfortunately, I think
Oh, sorry.
no, I was just gonna just add real quick that I think if Big E had not been injured, that maybe we'd be holding off on that for another year or so. But I think it's coming, unfortunately.
Yeah. And the way things are looking, it might end up in a Miz situation if Xavier full on turns on Kofi. Then
Yep.
Bo might be paying him a visit.
Yeah. Yeah. He may very well end up in the same situation. Um, he might be in some trouble too. Alicia saying Cross and Wyatt Six could be the most powerful faction in the WWE, but who else would you add to them? See, yeah, I think I agree with Deanna. I don't know if you need to add to any of them right now.
Yeah, I really like them being separate, and like you said, I'd like to see the Final Testament get built up. Before we talk about disbanding them or whatever, I'd
Yeah,
like to see them be a more powerful faction, be in more of a spotlight.
yeah, yeah. I think for right now, just leave them as is. Maybe in 6 months to a year, if it makes sense story wise, maybe add a member.
Hmm.
But I think both groups are fresh enough, new enough that you don't need to add to the recipe just yet.
We did get another Braun comment recently teasing at some point down the road joining them, and I think that would be cool. But yeah, I think for right now it's good, and yeah, maybe like you said, 6 months to a year that might be a cool thing to help refresh it or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, right now it's not needed.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, and same question to the chat. Do we think Braun is a joins, or is he an opponent first?
I think he'd probably be an opponent first.
Okay.
It seems like the way that he's talked about, like he doesn't want to give into that monster inside of him. He doesn't want to let that monster out. So I think he resists for a while, but then maybe after a feud or whatever, then he lets it out and joins them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And I think the same for Miss Bliss as well. I think
Yeah,
do I think she eventually joins the group? I do. Um, but I think initially once she returns, I think she's an opponent.
and I
Uh,
want to see the Eric Rowan versus Braun Strowman match. That would be cool.
yeah. Yeah, I gotta see that one. That's you if you thought Braun and Bronson
Hmm.
was good, I feel like those 2 could up the bar just a little bit more.
Oh yeah, especially with tying in all their history.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think at that point they'll be violent and they'll do some crazy spots like Braun and Bronson did, but the
I feel like
story
that could even be cool if it was done as a cinematic match.
yeah, yeah. I I know that things are back to somewhat normal now, and, the cinematic matches were, really done out of necessity in some ways, but I don't want wrestling to lose that.
Oh, me neither. I love them.
I love
And
it.
I mean, I do think they, there were times when they maybe got a little excessive just out of necessity, but I think we still need them every so often.
Yeah,
They're when they can. We've seen that they can do them really well, and so why not? I
yeah.
mean, it can add to the right. It's got to be the right scenario, and
Mhm.
like that's why I say like that. Feel like that match could be just because of their past history and stuff. I feel like that could be, and plus, we know Rowan is getting up there and maybe not in quite the shape he used to be in, so
And
that
that
could help out with that too.
yeah. And that's like a made for Netflix original kinda special that they could do. Man, that could be
Yeah, and maybe being on Netflix will help bring back some of that. I really hope that that's not forgotten and lost
yeah,
because there's so many memorable, great cinematic matches that we've gotten over the years.
yeah. Deanna saying even Cross and Bo could lean cinematic. I agree. I think you have to lean into it with those 2 because of who they are and what they do as leaders and the factions that they have and the different stories that they're trying to tell. I think there's so much there to
Mm.
leading up to the match, but also during the match.
The mind games could
Oh,
just
yeah.
be wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that would be I think you're doing a disservice to the story if you don't have some type of cinematic element to it at some point,
Hmm.
personally. Deanna saying the practical effects alone would make it amazing. Yeah, yeah. But then you get the 2 people, you get Karrion Cross and you get Bo
Hmm.
and what they can do in terms of a promo. Oh, man.
Yeah. And I mean, look how well regarded still to this day the Firefly Funhouse match is. I mean, everyone still talks about how what an amazing match that was, and think of what they could do with that now. Maybe in the dark Funhouse of Bo's mind.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, man. That would be that would be amazing. That would be amazing. The Dark Fun House and Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you even listen to John Cena, and he talks about it fondly and how fun it was and how they were able to get so much art and creative into it. And
And how quickly they were able to do that. They did
yeah,
that match like I think it was just like a few hours in a couple days or something.
yeah,
Like it was insane.
yeah, it's crazy. There's just so much. I might have to go back and watch it. Pretty
Oh yeah, I love going back and watching that
yeah,
match. You notice little things that every time you watch that you didn't notice before. It's one of those Easter egg matches.
yeah, yeah. It's so good, man. I think it's probably been a year since I've seen it.
Mm,
So yeah, I gotta go back and check it out again because so well done. So
hmm
fun. Um,
Like
John
James said, I would love to see a redo of the House of Horrors match. That match had so much potential,
mhm,
but just didn't quite live up to it. I'd love to see that done properly again.
yeah, yeah. Do you think they could do something like that with these 2 groups?
Oh yeah, I think that's prime for Howdy and Cross. I think
Mhm.
that would be you could do a like James said, that could be a really cool match.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that'd be a great match. Be a lot of fun to get something like that, you know, and I think especially in this Netflix era,
Mhm.
in terms of content that you can create to go along with it, I think this is prime for that. So,
Yeah,
um,
and since we're down this rabbit hole, think about the possibility of if the Hardys want to have one more run in WWE before they're done, come back and do another cinematic match with the Wyatt Sicks. Like,
yeah.
oh,
I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility
I
either.
don't either. I think that definitely could happen.
Yeah. I mean, and oddly enough, I think it could happen sooner rather than later.
Mhm.
Maybe within the next year.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, because I can't imagine the Hardys are going to be around too much longer, and
yeah,
can't imagine they wouldn't want it if the opportunity's there, which it seems like it would be, that they wouldn't want to have another run in WWE
yeah,
before they're done.
yeah. I think it's possible because I mean they're going in the Hall of Fame. They're
Oh yeah,
that's they're gonna. I feel like they're gonna end up there.
and obviously that that could as a match style that could really make them shine in their their age and capabilities at this point in their career.
Mhm. James saying Hardy's in the Rumble. Man,
Hmm.
where is the Rumble? Is it in Indy this year?
Minneapolis, yep,
Okay, okay.
yep,
Yeah,
they'll be there.
yeah, that could happen too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for this Rumble.
Yeah, that could really happen. I mean, even if it's not to come back,
Hmm.
just because of the
Yeah, even just do
partnership.
a one off in the Rumble. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that could happen.
Hmm.
Mm.
Oh, I have a feeling we're definitely going to see some TNA people in
Oh
this
yeah,
Rumble. I'm putting money now that we're going to see Joe Hendry show up in the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to lose my mind being there.
yeah. You when when I went to Bound for Glory, and I say this because the crowd that you're gonna be with is like 10 times that. Um, but when I went to Bound for Glory and he came out, the pop that and this is before he hit the super mega rocket ship out of the stratosphere kinda over, but the crowd popped for him, everybody was singing along. Dude, that's gonna be crazy if he
Oh
comes
yeah.
out there. Is it at, is it in the field house or is it at,
No, it's at Lucas Oil where the Colts play, so it's going to
okay.
be 60,000 people there probably.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna yeah. I was curious because I just thinking if it was gonna be at the field house, then, you can probably do 25, You think?
Not even the
Not
field
even?
house is not too big. Yeah, that's where they do like Raw and
Yeah.
SmackDown. So yeah, it's about maybe 17,
Okay.
20, something like that,
Okay.
somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah. Lucas Oil, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah. And look forward to that, and make sure you get plenty of pictures and video.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I've already got my the 13th is when the pre-sale goes up. I'm buying my tickets that morning.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Yeah, that's gonna be good stuff.
That's my birthday present to myself, because my birthday is February 11th, and that's February 1st that the Rumble is. So
There you go. There you go, man. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a great birthday present. I think, like you said, I think we're gonna get quite a few TNA folks in the Rumble.
Mhm.
I just do. Um,
And who knows? But we may even see some of the Wyatt Sicks in the Rumble.
that's true. That's
Mhm.
true. You never know. You just never know.
That could be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be really cool. Really cool. Man. All right, Chris. Well, we're gonna get to the end of this episode. What are your final thoughts on where you think this thing goes, how fast you think this goes? And I guess a final question to you: do you think we get anything at Survivor Series?
I don't think so. It seems like, for whatever reason, and maybe it's just because the limited nature of PLEs right now, and that they're keeping them off that, which I'm fine with. I hope they eventually get on a PLE, maybe next year. But for now, I think it's fine to keep them on Raw, building them up and stuff. Like I said, I don't think things are going to move too terribly fast unless they go back to 3 hours on Netflix, which is still up in the air from what I've heard. But I'm super excited. Where we've been a month ago or so, weren't getting much from them, and now I feel like things have really changed, and the possibilities are just endless right now.
Yeah,
I'm excited for where it's going. I thought it was really cool what we got last night, and it really sets a good tone for where this is headed.
yeah, I agree. I agree. James saying, question: would love to see WWE change the number of wrestlers in the Rumble and make it higher, go from 30 to 40. What do you think about that, Chris?
I'm pretty sure they tried that one year, and as I recall, it didn't. I didn't think it worked as well. I think it was felt too long at that point.
Mm. Is that the one that they did in Saudi?
No, that was 50.
50. Okay.
Yeah, for the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi. That
Yeah.
definitely, that one was ridiculous because they just had to throw, whoever at it to get to that. Now,
Yeah.
the one with 40, I believe, was won by Alberto Del Rio.
Okay.
They tried it for just 1 year and then went back to 30. So yeah, I think 30 is the magic number. And the first ever one was only 20. That didn't feel like enough. So I really feel like 30 is the magic number for the Rumble. It feels right. It keeps it about an hour match,
Mhm.
roughly.
Yeah. Yeah. Clown and James saying, confirming that the 40-man Rumble was the one
I
that
thought
Del
about
Rio
that.
won. So, yeah. So, Deanna talking about the Titus World slide. Yeah.
Oh, one of the greatest things ever.
He was safe. He
Yeah.
he he got into the bag. He was safe. So
I, I don't think I've ever laughed so hard or anything. I can still to this day just die laughing when I see that.
he two of the funniest moments in recent memory are from him. That moment, and then when they came back from the Firefly Funhouse match.
I don't know what I just saw.
Yeah,
Oh, Jodie always used to crack up about that
yeah.
one.
That was That was amazing. Those are two great moments.
Yeah,
Funny moments that, outside of our truth that someone
yeah.
in WWE is given. Yeah, that's very true.
And I
James,
don't think either one. I mean, obviously the one wasn't even on purpose, but
right?
even the one after the Funhouse match, I don't think was really intention. It's supposed to be as funny as it came off.
Mm-mm. No, I don't think that was intentional, but good on them for leaning into it because
Yeah.
it was very well done. So yeah, good stuff. But yeah, James saying how one step closer and that could have been it
Oh
could
yeah,
have
that's
been
amazing. He didn't. Yeah, he could have got seriously hurt.
seriously injured. Yeah, I mean it's only funny because he was
Yeah.
able to get up and walk away from
Mhm.
it, and he laughed at it. So
Yeah.
all right, folks. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Like I said, we will be back on the channel on Thursday for TNA Wrestling, for our watch along for that. I feel like over the next few weeks before the holidays, TNA is going to really, really heat up. Um, and by the time we get to January, we're going to be chomping at the bit for um, some more conclusion
Hmm.
to some stories. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun on Thursday.
What I'm hoping to see in TNA soon, Baron Corbin.
Yes.
I love Baron Corbin. I'm so sad that he got released, but I really hope he goes to TNA. I think he could just be a fantastic fit there.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Indy Hartwell would be a
Yeah.
great fit. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
I think he would be good there too.
yeah, and for that matter, Tegan Knox. I think
Yeah.
Tegan Knox is so talented. She's just had a very, very unfortunate
Mm-hmm.
injury
Bad
issue.
luck with injuries.
Yeah, yeah. So I would love to see all three in TNA.
Yeah.
I really would. That would be amazing. Absolutely. All right. Well, on that good note, we're gonna head out. Chris, fun as always, man.
Yep.
Thank you so much, man. Always enjoy talking about this stuff with you. So,
Oh yeah.
and thank you to everyone in the chat. You guys are awesome. And hopefully we'll see you Thursday evening. But if not, hopefully we'll see you next time on Fireflies Forever. Take care, everyone. Have a good evening.